Marvel fans, hold on to your butts. We've got some new hyped up information about Kevin Feige's plan for the MCU Fantastic Four. But there's also some new false reports, some stuff that we have to debunk. So smash a like on this video and let's begin by breaking down the news. So first up, a couple corrections on new rumors that are out there. There was a big story making the rounds on Friday all about how Ryan Gosling was apparently said to be attached to the Fantastic Four movie. And this was coming from Jeff Snyder, and a lot of people picked this up and ran with it, but it appears to not be true. Even Jeff Snyder himself talked about how this was just one little one-off sentence that he said in the podcast. It wasn't even presented as a scoop, but it is true that Marvel Studios wants to work with Ryan Gosling. And it's kind of funny because on my stream on Friday, we were breaking down all the different characters for the Fantastic Four and kind of just seeing like where people were at with it. Like, I first asked everybody, what do you think about Gosling as Reed Richards? And pretty much everybody was like, nah, I can't see it. I then asked about him being Ben Grimm. A lot of people said, no, I can't see it. I actually think he could do Ben Grimm. And then we asked about him as Johnny Storm, and a lot of people said they could see that. That might be the one. But even that just feels a little off for Gosling as a character, and so it's cool actually that he's said to not be attached to any of those roles. Unfortunately, that does mean the rumor, which was prior established by Jeff Snyder himself about Ryan Gosling potentially being Doctor Doom, could be true. And oh man, I very much trust Kevin Feige and the casting team that they have over at Marvel Studios, but I just simply cannot see Ryan Gosling as Doctor Doom, so please God, don't let that be true. Now, another bit of news that's been floating around there all has to do with the plot of the Fantastic Four and how the Fantastic Four will be from the present, but will then be traveling back to the 1960s, only to travel back to the present at the beginning of the movie. And this is all coming from Great Phase, a leaker out there that has sort of a spotted history, but mostly gets things correct. And it's really interesting because it tracks with some of the prior established rumors that the Fantastic Four movie would be taking place in the 1960s. However, I just want to say I don't even think that is true either. After talking with a lot of different people sort of behind the scenes, I've come to believe that the movie will take place in the 1960s, and eventually, yes, it will bring the cast of the Fantastic Four into the present day. But I do not think that the Fantastic Four are going to be from the present and end up in the 1960s. I instead think they actually will be from the 1960s. I think the reality of what we are seeing right now and all of the different reports that are making their way out onto the internet is that Matt Shakman and the people at Marvel Studios are actually crafting the story for the Fantastic Four right now. This is a very important IP for Marvel. It's an IP that has never really been done justice in any of the live action iterations that we've had so far. And the movie was also delayed from its original date to now taking place on Valentine's Day in 2025. So I think what's happening is Marvel is currently crafting a lot of different ideas for what they want to do with the Fantastic Four, but I have come to believe that the story about Ryan Gosling is not true, and even the report from Great Phase about them being from the present but going back to the 1960s, I also feel like that's not true. And that takes us to the latest bits of information for the Fantastic Four movie, which were all coming from My Time to Shine Hello. She did an AMA on Friday and answered a lot of questions and actually gave us a ton of information, but most importantly gave us the news that Galactus will be the main villain of the Fantastic Four film. Oh, and by the way, after My Time to Shine Hello did report this, another insider, Tom Smith, came out and corroborated this, talking about how, yes, Galactus will be the main villain of the Fantastic Four. On a side note here, Tom Smith seems to have very good information as well, and he is incredibly hyped up about the Fantastic Four movie. Now, before we dive into how freaking awesome this is and how excited I am, it is worth mentioning that My Time to Shine Hello had previously reported that the Silver Surfer was going to be in the Fantastic Four movie, but Galactus was merely going to be hinted at. And I think the story here is that the plans have frankly changed. And like a lot of other Marvel projects like Captain America New World Order and the Thunderbolts movie, Feige is currently going into these projects and just amping them up. He's juicing them up, and perhaps some things that they were going to hold off for the future movies are now being put in to these films. Because I personally believe that My Time to Shine Hello actually has some of the best sources in the game. It is one of the best insiders out there. And so I think what was originally going to happen was you were going to see the Silver Surfer be the main antagonist of the Fantastic Four movie, but now I believe Feige's kind of in there like, nah, like we're going to go straight to Big G and we're going to make it absolutely epic. And in fact, I think this movie might throw us all a giant curveball and actually not have the Silver Surfer in it. In a conversation that I had with My Time to Shine Hello privately, we discussed what was going on with this film. And according to her, the only things that are solidified right now is that they want Galactus as the big bad, and the movie will take place in the 1960s. She told me that the movie is likely going to be very similar to the Rise of the Silver Surfer film that Fox did, except for the fact that the Silver Surfer might not actually be in the film. And what this likely means is that Galactus will have a different herald in the Fantastic Four movie. If you didn't know, in the comic books, Norrin Radd, the Silver Surfer, is not the first herald of Galactus. Galactus has had many different heralds, but a character known as the Fallen One is considered to be one of his first herald. And this character is much darker than the Silver Surfer. If you know anything about Norrin Radd, what his deal is that he goes around the galaxy and tries to find uninhabited planets for Galactus to devour. He's trying to minimize the casualties that are created by Galactus and his hunger. But that might not fly in the MCU, and so I would expect the possibility of Galactus wanting to devour planets and a different herald that frankly doesn't care about actual sentient casualties to be the person that first comes to Earth and sets it up so that Galactus will come there and devour it. And we know that Marvel Studios does have plans for the Silver Surfer, and they want to bring Norrin Radd into the MCU, possibly via a Disney Plus special presentation or its own film. And this could be a really interesting way to set up how significant the Silver Surfer actually is if we first meet Galactus with a different herald and we get to know him through a completely different context. And we're like, whoa, this herald, bad news. This Galactus, and given that power cosmic out, holy crap, that's a dangerous dude. And then we'd come to learn about the difference in Norrin Radd and how he is guiding Galactus as a herald in the solo Silver Surfer project. And I just gotta say, I am so excited to get Galactus in the MCU. Not only do I love the character in Marvel Comics and just absolutely hate what Fox did to him, making him that crazy, stupid-looking cloud monster, but if we think about all of the cosmic stuff that is going on in Marvel right now and all the stuff heading towards Secret Wars that may well have to do with the Celestials, I can't help but think that Galactus will have a very important role to play in the Marvel multiverse. After all, this guy, Galactus, was once a dude named Galen who came from a different universe. When his universe was destroyed to create our universe, he is saved via that transition, but then becomes Galactus, the Devourer of Worlds. And if you think about Kang and the possibility of him being from one of the first universes ever, or destroying universes, potentially even destroying the universe that Galactus first came from, I think there's an opportunity here to tie Galactus in to what's going on in the multiverse with the Celestials, with Kang, with potentially the Beyonder, and on and on and on. So it's all super hyped up stuff. Good news for us as fans, and I think we'll get more details about casting and, even more plot details in the coming months, because it seems like Matt Shakman and Marvel and company are cooking. They're in the kitchen right now trying to cook us up one of the best Fantastic Four movies ever made. Of course, I'd love to know what you think about all of these updates in the comment section below. Like this video if you enjoyed getting filled in on your Marvel news. And make sure to subscribe to this channel and our live streaming channel because we give away dope nerdy things to lucky subscribers each and every month. If you want to watch more, why not check out this video I just did about the Avengers 5 writer talking about Kang, giving us some new juicy reveals.